Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Numismatic Notes with Benjamin. I have prepared for you another themed video. This time the theme is on mosaics that appear on banknotes. Mosaics that appear on banknotes is an unusual theme, but it's one I came up with when I realized I had two banknotes that had mosaics on them. And as a world traveler, I've always enjoyed seeing mosaics. I'll never forget visiting Israel back in the mid-1990s, about the time the Palestinians gained control of Jericho. And in that very trip, I was able to see a very fantastic mosaic of the Mona Lisa. It was called the Mona Lisa of whatever, Beersheba, wherever I saw the mosaic. And even though I don't exactly remember where the mosaic was, I was very impressed with the artistry of the art of mosaic. I'm very excited to be able to share this with you guys. So here goes. The first note I'm going to share with you guys is actually this note from, where is it from? Tunisia. And this is a 5 dinar. And the mosaic appears on the opposite side of Hannibal, who appears on the face of this note. The back of the note is the note that actually shows the different mosaics. And at first, I didn't realize that these were mosaics. We have here a medallion with the ship in it. We have here a medallion with, holy cow, what is that? Some sort of animals that I don't recognize. Up here in the upper quadrant is a petroleum plant, some sort of oil mechanic equipment. Rather, this actually appeared or will appear in another video. And then in the bottom quadrant, we have sea creatures as a mosaic. Let's see if I can't home in a little more so you can see the mosaic detail. Do you see all the little squares of color that were used to make up these sea creatures? That is an example of a mosaic on a banknote. There are cornerstone watermarks on this note as well, but that's for another video. The next mosaic that appears on a banknote that I have is actually this Israeli 1 lira of 1958. This side of the banknote actually shows a fisherman, and for whatever reason, it did not make it into my all things fish video theme, but this would be another note that would fit nicely into that theme. When you turn this over, there is a fantastic theme of a mosaic. This mosaic's a little bit easier to see because it's the main focus of the note, and when you make it bigger, you can actually see the little tesserae that altogether make up the image. This mosaic is from the floor of a synagogue found on Mount Carmel. I did not see this piece of art whenever I visited Israel, but I would have enjoyed it. The next note that shows a mosaic is this 1,000 pound of Syria. Not only does this show some great mosaic, but it also shows some great Roman ruins. This shows, an amphitheater. And on the back of the note is one of the most fantastic mosaics that you can find on a banknote. A huge image of the grape harvest from the ruins of, where was this? Forgive my pronunciation or my mispronunciation, but it is from the ruins at Suwaida. And you can very clearly see all the little tesserae that make the images of the people, the tree, and the grapes. Although grapes don't really grow on trees, so I wonder why it's grapes. Maybe it's figs or dates. I don't know. But it's a beautiful design, and I'm glad to have it in my collection. The most interesting mosaic I have in this exhibit actually comes from Uzbekistan. This is a 200 sum, very colorful note in its own right, and would be lovely on just a note that had designs as its merits, geometric designs as its merits. But on the back, we have a lion and a sun from the facade of the Shirdar Madrash of the Register in Samarkand. So yeah, that fantastic beast with the human head on the back, that is actually a mosaic that appears on an Islamic building, a madrash, as it were, or a madras in Samarkand. I had this note for a while, didn't even realize it was considered a mosaic, and it certainly is finely detailed. Even blowing it up, you would be hard-pressed to see the little pieces that made up the design. But I guess it's part of the tile work of a famous madrasa. Our next note takes us back to Syria. And we have this time a 500 pound from Syria. And this banknote is one of the more recent notes of Syria. And the back of it actually shows the mosaic the mosaic of the musicians from a Byzantine villa in Mariamine. So at first I thought this was a painting, and then it occurred to me, did a little more research, and yeah, no paintings from this time period of history. Well, there might be some Byzantine paintings, but this is actually a mosaic from this time period of the musicians. At least my research shows me that this is a mosaic. It could very well be a fresco, but since all my research showed it was a mosaic, I'm going to honor it as such. And then, of course, there's probably some sheet music on one of those old clay tablets that they used to use way back in the day, I believe. And then finally, the final note of my mosaic theme is actually from Tunisia again. And this is an earlier note of Tunisia. This is actually a half dinar. And the mosaic of interest appears on the back of this note. Not the best condition note, but I was glad to have it because look at this mosaic on the back. What a great banknote. Charming in all of its classicism, color, and the fact that it is very rudimentary because of its use of mosaic. What a beautiful art form. In this case, we have fish, we have fishermen, we have boats, sails, and depictions of water. One of my favorite banknotes in my collection is this half dinar of Tunisia. Someday I hope to own it in a much lovelier condition, but I have to tell you, the condition does not hurt the charm of this note. In fact, if it's a beautiful banknote, the condition does not hurt the charm of any banknote. I'm very pleased to bring these mosaic banknotes to you, and it's my hope that you would subscribe, share, and comment about mosaics that appear on banknotes. Do you know of any other banknotes that depict mosaics? Do you have any thoughts on the banknotes that I included? Do you know whether or not all these mosaics I presented to you are actually mosaics? That is the question. I'm Benjamin. This has been Numismatic Notes with Benjamin. Subscribe and have a jewel of a day.